Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. 2 weeks ago today, my daughter was born. And in order to get past this moment, we want to commemorate her and to share with you, our close family and friends, what she means to us, and to give you a chance to share with each other what she meant to you. These are the clothes I was wearing the day my daughter was born. I've read somewhere that language is used to understand the world. Someone who loses a spouse is a widow or a widower. Someone who loses their parents is an orphan. There is no word for the parents of a dead child. So we do not understand who we are. There's a lot to share. It's going to be tough. I'll give it a try. Christine, my wife, used to say that inside a womb, Tanya was very, very happy. She always had a strong heartbeat. She was very active and very alert. She seemed to connect to the outside world in an incredible way. We knew she was a girl, so we named her early. And so she knew her name. And we spoke to her. She especially loved my voice. Every time I spoke to her, Christine said she used to feel an instant kick. We weren't waiting for Tanya to join our family. She was part of our family and is still part of our family. So, 2 weeks ago Friday was her due date. She'd have been 41 weeks that day. And so we thought she is going to arrive that day. Christine had the beginnings of labor pains. But after realizing that she hadn't felt the baby move in a while, we tried to get her to move, but she wouldn't. She didn't respond to my voice. So we went to the doctor to just have a check. But in my mind, I thought, a lot of women go through this, right? And that's when we got this devastating news that her heart had stopped and my baby had died in the womb. It was our worst nightmare. I've always felt the thought of a stillborn child to be unimaginable. Actually, 3 weeks earlier, through common Facebook connections, I'd come across a lady and her husband. We don't even know who we are, but we found out that they had lost their child in the 38th week, but still had to deliver the baby. I remember the words I wrote on a post. Hi. Your post really broke my heart. It's unimaginable thinking of enduring your kind of loss. I can't imagine my wife giving birth to a baby who could not live beyond the womb. My heart really broke for these complete strangers. I cried for them. I prayed for them. 3 weeks later, we find ourselves in the exact same scenario. The doctor told us it may not be possible to find out what had actually happened. Oftentimes, there are no reasons. But we could bear the agony of living life wondering whether Christine or I had done something wrong, or whether maybe I could have done something to have prevented this whole thing from happening. As parents, you always feel you want to look after your child. And I kind of felt I might have let her down somehow. Christine's labor was induced that Friday. And God's grace to get us through our worst nightmare was astounding. The care she received from the medical staff there was way beyond what I could describe. That evening, her earthly body was born. And what we thought would be the most agonizing moment of our lives turned out to be the most beautiful thing we've encountered. I have no words to explain it. It was one of those moments where heaven touches earth. Tanya was greeted with dignity and honor, and the weeping eyes of a room full of nurses, midwives, and a doctor who shared our pain and cried with us. You know, she was beautiful. But later we did find out the cause of death. Her umbilical cord was tied in a true knot. So we asked ourselves, what's the meaning of Tanya's life? What's her purpose? Because she was a stillborn, was she an accident? Was she never meant to be? Did she have no purpose, no calling? Can the life of a tiny baby who never took a single breath have any significance? That's when we reflected on the knot, the beautiful knot on her umbilical cord and the symbolism of it. Knots are meant for binding, for uniting, for securing. She was so small when I held her. I had this insane notion that she was actually alive. I couldn't help it. Her face changed. Her brows were furrowed and then it relaxed. Her head was so soft that even the smallest movement gave her expressions. And her eyes were tiny little slits. We didn't cry when we held her. When we saw her, we were speechless, in awe. Born into a world she'll never ever know. We've cried a lot since then. We cry for her, but more for us. I now know who she is, but I do not know who I am. It's been a while since she died. It's been a long time since I sang her my songs and told her my stories. Does she know who I am? Does she know my voice? Rest in peace, Tanya.